Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm starting off barefaced because I want to do a little get ready with me showing you some of the items that are in my makeup basket for the month of November, although we're like way more than halfway done with November. You may notice that I haven't been very good at getting these up these last couple of months, and the honest truth is since we moved in June, and we moved into an apartment that doesn't really get, I mean it has big windows and it gets enough sunlight for us to be happy to live here, but when the sun starts to go down at like 2 or 3 or like 3 o'clock in the afternoon here, I don't have enough time to film, like it doesn't even get bright enough for me to film Shop My Stash style videos where I would show you my drawers, what's in my like each drawer and pick out makeup. It's just too dark, like you couldn't see anything, and I have like a couple of artificial lights, but it looks god awful. So I've been really struggling with what to do for these Shop My Stash videos. So I figured today, I'm also, since it's the end of the year, trying to use up as many Project Pan items as I can. So I figured today I would do a little get ready with me, show you what I have just in my basket, some Project Pan items, a couple of items I've pulled now that I'm making really almost done with a couple of my Project Pan items. I've pulled a couple new items. So I figured I'd do a little get ready with me and just show you some of the things in my basket. So first off, I'm gonna pull my hair out of my face. I'm just coming from work this morning. I was struggling to get out of bed and I knew I was only working like 2 hours. So I just slapped some like concealer on. So as soon as I got home, I wiped it off, and now I'm gonna actually put on some concealer or put on actual makeup. So in my basket this month, I am almost, or I'm done with my little Project Pan item here. And then the other two that I pulled in to use that aren't in Project Pans currently are, this is a NYX Q10 Renew primer. It's a little like sample size. I really like this primer quite a bit. It feels like a lotion, goes on really well. It's a good first step, and since my skin in the winter can get a little dry, I definitely enjoy reaching for something like that. Or the NYX has another hydration primer or a hydrating primer that's in like a blue. I have it right here. It's this one. This is another really good one, but right now I'm just kind of focusing on that little guy and seeing if I can make some progress and potentially put it into a project early on next year and finish it up. So kind of goes on like a lotion, but it actually still is like kind of tacky and sticky, which I kind of like. And then I have another one that I really don't love, this guy. This is the NYX Soft Focus Primer, and it is kind of like a putty consistency, like it's very silicone-y, and I have used a good bit of this. It's definitely not my favorite, and honestly the way I like to apply it is with a brush. Where's my brush? I like to just use like a little flat top kabuki brush and kind of brush it into my pore area where I feel like I need some extra help in those areas, and just kind of brush a little bit on my like forehead. I, again, don't love this primer, but I would like to use it up probably some point next year. So then after that, just try to make sure I push it in. For foundation, I have my Bye Bye Lines foundation. This is the only foundation currently that I'm working on. Also, don't mind the mess in the background. Beau and I are leaving for Paris tomorrow. I think by the time this video goes up, it will probably, we might even be back by then. But we're really excited, but we're kind of like a mess, and we both worked quite a bit this week. So we're trying to, like, today after I film, my job is gonna be clean up the house so we don't come back to a messy house. And then also, like, I need to pack still. So it's gonna be fun. Actually, we're really excited because we're going to Paris to celebrate. We've been together, we've been married for almost 10 years, in July, but we actually started dating when we were 17 years old, and it was roughly around this time of year when we were 17. So we're kind of going to go celebrate our 15 years of being together, which I'm really excited about. And I don't know, we've been really enjoying each other lately. If you're not married, marriage is difficult. You have to really work at it. And sometimes you have times when you like love the other person ridiculously a lot, and then sometimes you're like, ooh, you better give me some space, boy. So no, we've just really been enjoying each other lately, and I'm really excited to go somewhere with him and spend some time with him. Just us, and I don't know, we'll see. I'm a little worried that Paris might be like wet and rainy, but then again, Sweden is also wet and rainy this time of year, so that is nothing new. I guess I should be used to that. Next up, I'm gonna use my little beauty blender here and put on, this is the L'Oreal one, by the way. This is my favorite. I'm almost finished with this lipstick that I've been using as a blush, and so I'm going to use this to kind of put on a little bit of color to my cheeks. Also, as I'm doing this, I should say that I think I'm really, like, I'm always so hesitant to do get ready with me videos because I know I can talk a lot. Like, my channel is named Outward Processing, but at the same time, I think going back and forth between talking about like products and talking about life, I always get a little bit insecure in videos like this because I just feel like my life is so boring, especially like being in Sweden. I know I've talked about it a little bit in the past, but I don't have a ton of friends here, so like YouTube really is my like social outlet, which I'm so thankful for all of you who like are my friends on here and who like comment and chat and keep up with me. Like, you have no idea how much of a safe haven this has become for me. And I feel like I look back at being on YouTube, and I've been on YouTube like almost 2 years or so now, and I feel like I'm so awkward still in a lot of ways, but at the same time I can tell I'm coming out of my shell and getting more comfortable talking with people. It's taken me so much longer. I've always thought of myself as like pretty outgoing, like introverted, but still I can be outgoing. And oh my goodness, if I haven't really learned a lot about myself by being on this platform, because I feel like I'm so much more awkward than I even knew that I was. The only concealer that I've really been using is this ColourPop one. I actually have pulled a little Wet n Wild concealer too to try to use it as an eye primer, but I'm not going to do that today because I don't think I really need it. One of the things I like to do with concealer, sorry, topic hopping here. One of the things I like to do with concealer, because if you're someone who has problem areas where foundation doesn't like to stick, I've found that concealer really works well for me there. So foundation loves to break up on my nose, and I almost don't put any foundation on my nose for that reason. I usually go in with almost like straight just concealer, because I think that it just kind of grips the most to my like problem area of being my nose. So I like this little concealer. If you've not tried the ColourPop concealer, I think it's not the most hydrating concealer. This is not their new one. They did just release the hydrating one or whatnot, but their little the original one that they released, I think it's pretty dang good. It's not like the most full coverage, but it does like provide plenty of coverage for an everyday look, I think. And it's not too drying, but I just think for like, what is like $6 or so, that it's a really nice product, and I'm very, very happy with it. So next I'm gonna go in with my two powders that are in my project pan. I have my Kat Von D loose setting powder. I like to put it in my T-zone, and then I go in with my It by Lines powder for my like more where my bigger pores are. And I'll show you in a second how I use it. Okay, what I like to do with my little It by Lines foundation powder, or it's not a foundation, it's just translucent powder. I like to take, I think it probably was meant to be a foundation brush, but this is by Sonia Kashuk. It's a very like, kind of a stiff brush, but it has enough give to where I think it's better for powders than actual liquid foundation. And I just like to take a little bit of it and dust it like right here in my like pore area, and kind of really try to get it up in those pores, because I think the more that you can get it into your pores, the more it helps camouflage those pores. I take a little bit and dust it into my forehead lines, and then the rest of my face I just take a big fluffy brush and I take the rest of the powder in the cap that I poured out, and I just dust that around the rest of my face and go that way. Okay, moving into eyeshadow. I normally would do my eyeshadow first, but since my eyeshadow look isn't really complicated for the everyday kind of look that I do, I'll show you a couple eyeshadow palettes that I want to reach for the rest of this month, and then I'll do my normal look. So I think like sometimes these mauve shades are really nice to use during like fall, even though, I mean, mauves are almost like neutrals nowadays, which I think is kind of fun, but I am always drawn to these in fall. So I definitely want to use this at least a couple times for the rest of this month. I have already reached for it like on and off, not in a day I was filming or something earlier this month. But another one that I want to reach for as we move into more holidays is this Friendcation palette. I just think that these I have very mixed feelings on this palette. I know a lot of people really love this palette. It's a lot of people's favorite palette. I do like the palette, but it's definitely not my favorite. I've been a little let down. I was so excited by this blue shade down here, and it is stunning. However, on me, I don't know why, even when I use an eyeshadow primer, I will still get creasing in my eye. So I have to use a glitter glue. A glitter glue is like the only way I can get this eyeshadow to kind of pop enough the way I like it or want it to or expect it to, and also like decrease the amount of creasing. It even still creases with a like a glitter glue. So for me, that was a little bit disappointing. Another critique of this palette is that this green shade, I wanted to be a little bit more, I wanted it to pull a little bit more green on me, and it pulls mostly bronze on me, which is still very beautiful, but I think when I saw it in the palette and when I saw reviews of it, I thought it was going to be a little bit more green, and it's just a little bit more bronze. Everything else I think is really beautiful. I don't use this shade a lot unless I'm using this blue, but it is a very beautiful shade. And then all in all, these kind of shades here, like this is gorgeous. This one is probably my least favorite shimmer in the palette, even though it probably is one of the best performing out of the whole palette. It's just not a color that I get that excited by. But all in all, I do think the palette's really nice, especially if you can find it on sale, which is when I bought this last year during like the Christmas Days of Beauty sale that Ulta does, like right leading up to Christmas. And then the last palette that I want to make an effort to reach for, and you'll probably see videos, hopefully, if I can get them done. These next couple of weeks are going to be crazy for me because I'm working quite a bit, and then also we're trying to get ready to go home for Christmas. But I want to make it easier on myself. We're going to be in Sweden about a year and a half longer, I suspect, and I realized that I don't want to end up having to put a lot of makeup into suitcases that are going to break, and like, whew, like I love this makeup too much, and even though it pains me to send some of my makeup home for like a year and a half, it's worth it sending it home knowing that it's safe and sound versus me trying to cram it into suitcases and thinking it will get broke. I'm gonna try to keep what I'm gonna use up, keep things that I absolutely can't live without, and I'm going to try to just minimize the amount of things that would go into check bags and try to keep things that I can bring back in like carry-on luggage, because I've spent too much money on this to get it ruined in like transit. So a palette like this, I love this palette, but it's very bulky, but I do want to reach for this before I send it home at Christmas time. So I love like these two shades here, or actually all four of these shades are very beautiful. If I want a smoky like eyeshadow look, this is the palette I typically pull for, because this black pearl shade has a really cool kind of like duochrome effect. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of like pulls a little bit blue. And then also Arg right here it's just a nice, it's not gonna focus, is it? It's just a nice little shade that does a really nice effect on an eye when I want like a little bit of a smoky eyeshadow look. So this is a nice palette, I think, for that reason. Also, I mean, the gold shade's very beautiful. It's got some nice transition shades. It's not the best palette, but I think for specific looks, I really enjoy reaching for it. So I want to try to give this some love before I send it home and put it in purgatory for about a year and a half. So. But for today, I'm going to be using a little combo. I've been setting my eyes with a cream shade from here, the Heaven shade, because it is in a project pan to try to hit pan on this guy. So I've been using this to just kind of set my crease and make sure that I'll try to prevent anything from creasing. Because if my eyelids are too wet, then they will kind of stick together once my eyes start to blink. So that's a nice little shade to kind of help prevent that from happening. Another thing that I've been using is this little bitty eye and cheek palette that I got probably about 3 years now ago from Ulta. This was like, I wanted to try higher end brands a long time ago when I first started to get into makeup, but I could not bring myself to pay those prices. So this was like a Black Friday deal, and I remember it was like $12 for like 4 eyeshadows and a blush, and the blush is like down here. I love the blush. I think it's beautiful. It's supposed to be the Amazonian clay formula, but I have to say, like, as you can see, these two shades are gone because they were absolute trash. They would, like, you would look at them and they would seal up and like get a hard pan on them. I tried the tape trick. I tried like taking a spoolie and kind of scrubbing it off. Like, I just hate it. Like, it got to the point where I just would absolutely loathe those shades when I would open this palette and look at it, and it would make me not want to use the rest of the palette just because of how bad those shades were. So recently I did kind of just scrape them out and put them into, I put them into a big old, let's see if I can find it and show you. I have a big old empty jar from a moisturizer that I finished, and I scraped out a couple other highlights that were from like palettes, mainly like contouring palettes that I just don't use the highlights in, and I ended up scraping them into there, and I'm going to put those into lotions and that kind of thing. Those are going to be my body highlights, so I don't technically count that as like my that they're not really part of my makeup category anymore. They're more of like body category because I don't really care even if I ever get use out of them, but I mean, I will, because I do like sparkly body lotions. But so anyways, now that I've done that to this palette, I have found that I'm using it so much more. And like, I really do like the matte shades, but oh my god, those, I don't know if that is representative. Let me know in the comments if you know. Is that representative of Tarte's like other palettes, like their bigger palettes? Because this little quad has made me go, I don't know if I ever want to try bigger palettes from Tarte because of how much I hated those like shimmer shades. They didn't really, they were very lackluster. They didn't really have like a lot of color payoff, and you had to really dig into them, and they would immediately still up. So I really did not like that. This is an eyeshadow pencil that has been defeating me all freaking year. It's been in my year-long project pan, and I'm still not done with it. I have no idea why I can't finish a product like this, but these things take me forever to use. So I've been using it as a eyeshadow base for like shimmers and stuff. The next thing I'm going to use is my little Steely glitter. This is also in my like finished 9 by New Year's, I think, and I've been really enjoying this. I had to like pull the stopper out and try to mix some of it up and get it to the point where my paddle could reach the product in there, but it is a beautiful shade. This is in the shade Rose Gold Retro, and I have to say, like, I always think of myself as like, I know rose golds come in lots of palettes nowadays, but I always think like, they're just kind of basic. But when I put this on, I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. Maybe I should wear rose gold more often, because I love the glitter aspect of it. I think it really amps it up and makes that color more fun to wear. So I've been really enjoying this. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I feel like I'm making some good progress, so that's a little bit of a sneak peek. But I have lots of windows, and it's getting harder and harder for me to, even when I pull the stopper back out, mix it up and like really try to get my brush in there, it's getting harder and harder to pick up product. And it's not necessarily drying up, it's just that I'm using like quite a bit of it. I've been wearing it almost every day, and yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I actually feel like I'm getting use out of the product rather than having to just throw it away one day, which is really rewarding and nice. This is a little eyeliner that I've been trying to finish up this year by Maybelline. I bought the Essence, like the super fine eyeliner a while back, and I opened it it was a couple years ago, and I opened it almost immediately and used it, and it did not last long. And then I opened up this little mini guy earlier this year, and I expected it to die much sooner because it's the same kind of felt tip. I have to say, this thing has lasted 10 times longer than that Stila, or not, than the Essence Superfine like eyeliner did, and I don't understand why that one dried up so quickly. Usually I really enjoy Essence products, but I don't think I'd ever buy that eyeliner again. I'm gonna take a little bit of my Benefit Ka-Brow, and I'm gonna touch up my eyebrows. I did put a little bit of eyebrow stuff on this morning before I left for work, but I know that when I was rubbing my face with my washcloth that I probably wiped off a good bit of my brows. So I'm gonna fix that really quick. While I'm doing the other brows, since we're almost at the end of November here, I'm curious if anybody who's watching this video or has gotten to this point in the video, does anybody have any like holiday plans that they're excited about? Where will you be spending like the holidays or Christmas or Thanksgiving, if I get this video up by Thanksgiving? Or if I don't get the video up by Thanksgiving, we're gonna have issues because this is literally for November, and Thanksgiving is like really late this year. But yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm so odd. I'm so odd today. I'm so sorry. You're catching me on a very off day. But let me know in the comments, where are you spending your holidays? Are you excited? Do you have any plans? Another thing I like to do with my little Benefit Ka-Brow in order to use it up is I have a little Real Technique brush, and it's a targeted blending brush. I like to kind of get this in there, and I like to put it in my hairline to give the like illusion that I'm not like balding up here. I will also kind of bring it down here, kind of just round out my hairline, if that makes sense. I don't know, also, I feel like this is not unusual, but I have way more hair on this side of my head than this side. I have no idea why that is, but it is the weirdest thing to me. But I had one hairdresser tell me that that's pretty normal. Let me also know, is that normal for you? Like, does one side of your head have more hair than the other? Because maybe I should feel insecure about it, even though I don't at the moment. The only bronzer that I have been using is my little Hoola mini guy in my project pan. This is my Roulette Collab project pan, and I've been using it with a Real Techniques, like this is a multitask face brush. This is one that I think that it is a nice brush. It's not usually my go-to for bronzer, but I do like it occasionally. Because it has that little slanted edge. If I really want more of a contour bronzer in one step, this is a nice one to pull for and like let the brush do the work versus having to use like multiple brushes to get that kind of like a more chiseled look. So one of the things you'll probably know is that this year, next year, we're doing a big collaborative project where the hashtag Partners in Cream project, and I am sending I'm probably going to send a lot of my highlights home because I need to focus on so many of my cream highlights before they go bad. So I've been trying to think about which of my highlights I want to send home, and I'm pretty sure, even though I love this thing, I'm going to send this guy home. I haven't done the final sit down and like talk through yet, but I'm trying to tell myself that this is a good contender to go home because one, this one's newer in my collection and I have used it a good bit. I do love it. This is the Puma Maybelline collaboration, and this is really nice, like kind of a rose goldy. It's got a little bit of pink, a little bit of gold, pulls more gold on my cheeks. I really like this as an everyday highlight. However, I think that I can live without it for a year and a half in terms of being able to finish up some of my cream products. And then I also know that because it is a like powder product, it's going to be fine when I go to get it in a year. And then I can pick it up, like have missed it so much, and I will really give it a lot of love at that point. And then the next product that I've been using, of course, is in my 9 in 2019 project. And this is my little, I'm trying to wear off the like tree patterns in a lot of these guys. So one of the ones I've been trying to work on quite a bit is Dainty down here. These blushes are so tightly packed. I feel like I've worn this so much this year, and I still see definitely more tree pattern than I thought I would by the end of the year. But I'm still happy with some of the progress I've made, but it's just not as easy as I thought it would be. Okay, I'm gonna quickly speed through my brows and eyeshadow because I cannot concentrate enough to like talk to the camera during this on my eyes. But I have like my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I then use my Benefit Roller Lash to like comb through my lashes and push that product up a little bit more because I really like the bristles on that brush a lot better. And then I let that dry and put on my Essence Give Me Brow like little top coat for my brows, and then I go back over the top with a Clinique little mini mascara that I have here, and this is just the High Impact Mascara from Clinique. So that's what I use on my eyes and my brows. And to finish up, I'll talk about a couple lip products that I'm still working on. I am definitely working on my Bite Beauty Caramel lipstick. I will put that on today. But another one that I've recently reached for to pull in because I'm almost done with my lipstick in my 9 in 2019 is this little Frog Prince lip balm. I love this little lip balm. I think that it's I've tried a couple different of the like color changing lip balm products, and some of them can pull very pink, but that one's a very like cool tone, like mauve toned pink undertone to it. I'm not going to put it on today, but I have to say it's a very nice color. It doesn't, my only real complaint is that I wish it was a little bit more hydrating. I don't really feel like it's not uncomfortable, but I think it would be my perfect like lip balm if it were a little bit more hydrating. Okay, so So that is my lipstick, and I hope you enjoyed this little like what's in my makeup basket get ready with me type video. I will try my best to figure out some more creative ways to display this since I can't really film the normal way that I would. But yeah, and we'll see if I continue to do something like this in the year of 2020. Holy cow, can you believe that we're already gonna go into 2020? It blows my mind. It feels like time is flying by. But let me know, what kind of videos do you prefer? Like, do you like get ready with me type videos showing what's in the makeup basket? Do you like just makeup basket showing you what I have one after one? Or do you really want to see inside drawers and that kind of thing? Because I'm on the fence about if I want to continue this series next year. But I want to do stuff that you want to watch too. So let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to say hello, and I'll see you in the next one.